As we are building our application, it is unavoidable that we would have routes that has the same prefix. For example, let's say we have a few admin routes: admin dashboard, admin manage, and admin settings. Now all of these routes has the same prefix called admin. However, if we write our route component just like what I did here, it is not that pretty, because we're essentially repeating ourselves. So how can we improve this situation then? React Router has a solution for us, and it is called route grouping. Rather than declaring the routes one by one, what we can do instead is to have a parent route component where we define the admin path prefix on it, and within the route component we'll define the individual children routes. One important point here to note is that we could not put a slash in front of our route path, because a slash means an absolute path in React Router. If we put a slash in front of the path, that means when a user visits the /dashboard endpoint, we would like to serve the user the dashboard component. And that defeats the purpose of route grouping altogether. Anyway, let's visit our browser now to make sure that everything is working correctly. So if we visit the admin dashboard, we can see that the dashboard component is rendered properly. If I go to the manage endpoint and the settings endpoint, they're all working fine. Beautiful. Alright, let's move on. Now there's always a situation where we need a dynamic route. For example, an admin page where we can manage a specific user. So the routes will look something like this: /manage/users/ the user ID. So if we put 1 as the user ID, we will be seeing the details of user 1 on this management page, so on and so forth. Now the question is, how do we implement this in React Router? It is actually pretty simple. Let's duplicate the manage route component, and what we need to do to make the route dynamic is to use a colon and a parameter name to represent the dynamic parameter. Once we have done that, let's go to the browser and test this one out. We will visit the admin manage user endpoint, followed by any random URL parameter, and we're greeted by the dashboard component. Great! But now we got a new problem. How do we retrieve the dynamic URL parameter? To do that, we'll need to use a hook called useParam. Let me show you how it works. Let's go to our dashboard component, and I'll import the hook useParam from the React Router DOM library. The hook will return us an object that represents all the URL parameters in the current React route. Now I'll go ahead and console log out this param object, and let's see what will happen inside the browser. We'll go to the console, and as you can see here, it is the object that contains the user ID URL parameter. The value is whatever we put inside the URL, and the key refers to the name of the parameter that we registered inside the React route component. And now we can go ahead and use this parameter however we wish inside the component. For example, let's add the value of the parameter after our dashboard heading. And now if we go back to the browser, whatever we put in the URL parameter will show up directly after the word dashboard inside our DOM. How cool is that? And if we try to visit a route that does not have a URL parameter, the param object will simply be an empty object. Alright, that was a brief introduction to route grouping and dynamic route in React. We will continue in the next lesson. Key takeaways for this lesson: we can put additional route components within another to group multiple routes together. We define dynamic routes by using the colon syntax. useParam is a hook that allows us to retrieve the dynamic route parameters. That's it for now, and I'll see you again in the next lesson. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell icon for more content to come. It will really help me out. Thanks for the support.